A Roman girl could be legally married at 12 years old. Not engaged, married. And the man she married? He could legally kill her if he caught her cheating. But here's the part that will really mess with your idea of traditional family values. Rome also had women who ran businesses, divorced their husbands by text, well, by note, and got remarried 5, 6, 7 times without anyone blinking. Rome wasn't prude. It wasn't liberated either. It was something stranger, a system built entirely around power, property, and the family name. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how twisted, calculated, and honestly, kind of ruthless that system was. A Roman father held legal authority over his children for as long as he lived, even after they married. Technically, he could still have life and death power over an adult son. For daughters, that authority was usually handed to the husband once she married, but the point stands. A Roman woman almost never belonged to herself. Now picture the wedding night itself. The bride wore a flame-colored veil, the flammium, believed to ward off evil spirits. Her hair was parted with a bent iron spearhead, a tool linked to Rome's earliest, most violent legends about marriage by capture. Guests carried torches. Nuts were thrown, like modern confetti, for fertility. Sex, in this context, wasn't about desire. It was a job description. And Roman doctors even wrote it into medical theory. A wife's primary job, stated outright in Roman texts, was to produce legitimate heirs. Some Roman medical writers believed, incorrectly, that female pleasure played a role in conception, which is part of why a few even urged husbands to satisfy their wives. Not out of romance, because they thought biology required it. Now flip it. Same law, same century, completely different rules, if you were the husband. This is the part nobody tells you in the toga and marble version of Roman history. A Roman husband was expected, practically encouraged, to have sex outside his marriage, with slaves, with prostitutes, with his own household staff, male or female. None of it counted as infidelity under Roman law or custom. A wife, on the other hand, had exactly one sexual partner she was legally allowed to have. Ever. Her husband. If she was caught with anyone else, the consequences weren't just social. Under laws passed by the Emperor Augustus, the Lex Julia de adulteriis, around 18 BCE, adultery became a criminal offense, and the law came with fine print. Under conditions laid out in the statute, the affair had to happen under his own roof, and he had to kill both people, not just one. A father could legally execute his daughter and her lover on the spot. A husband had more limited rights, but he was actually required by law to divorce an adulterous wife or face charges himself for acting as a pimp. Read that twice. The law didn't just permit a husband to punish his wife's infidelity. It threatened to prosecute him if he didn't. Meanwhile, slaves, men, women of any age, had no legal right to refuse their owner's sexual demands. Full stop. Rome's sexual economy ran, in large part, on people who were property, and Roman writers barely treated this as a moral question at all. That imbalance is the real engine of Roman sexuality. Not liberation, not repression. Domination, dressed up as law. And yet, somehow, inside this brutal system, a small number of Roman women found ways to flip the script entirely. Here's the full picture, and it's messier than either Rome was progressive or Rome was oppressive. Divorce, for instance, was shockingly easy and available to both sexes. Either spouse could simply declare the marriage over. No courts, no lengthy process, no real stigma for most of Roman history. Cicero's own daughter, Tullia, was married 3 times. The famous general Pompey was married 5 times. Divorce and remarriage were so routine among the elite that some women went through half a dozen husbands across their lives, often trading up for better political alliances each time. There was also a powerful cultural ideal called the univira, a woman who had only one husband her entire life, even if he died young. She was honored on tombstones, praised in poetry, held up as the moral gold standard. But notice what that tells you. It was an ideal precisely because it was rare. Most elite Roman women remarried and remarried again as political winds shifted. Some women thrived inside this chaos. Roman law actually allowed women to own property, run businesses, and control their own finances, especially once a father died and no husband held formal authority over her. There are records of Roman women who owned brickyards, shipping operations, and estates worth fortunes. Not equality as we define it today, but real, tangible economic power that would shock people who assume Roman women had none. And then there's the group everyone forgets when they picture sexual freedom in Rome: prostitutes. Legal, taxed, and utterly without honor. A prostitute in Rome had almost no legal protections and was branded with a kind of permanent social disgrace, infamia, that stripped away rights other citizens took for granted. Sex was everywhere in Roman public life, painted on tavern walls, joked about in graffiti we can still read in Pompeii today, but the people providing it were, socially, close to invisible. And if you want more of history's uncomfortable truths, hit subscribe, because we are just getting started. There was no wedding officiant, no state marriage license the way we think of it. A Roman marriage existed the moment two things were true. Both people intended to be married, and the woman moved into the man's household with that intention. That's it. No signature required. A Roman wife never legally left her own family. On paper, she kept her name, her property, even her legal family. In practice, that made her a permanent guest in her own house. Because the moment you understand who actually controlled a Roman woman's body, you realize this whole system was never about her at all. That control had a name: patria potestas, the power of the father. Think about what that means in practice. A Roman husband could walk from a brothel to a dinner party decorated with erotic frescoes to his own bedroom, and at every stop, the freedom on display belonged to him alone. The slave serving the wine, the woman on the wall, the wife waiting at home. None of them were in the painting by choice. It wasn't liberation. It was hierarchy wearing liberation's clothes. And honestly, that's a pattern worth remembering, because it's a lot easier to spot in a toga 2,000 years later than it is up close. Rome didn't invent love, and it definitely didn't invent equality. What it invented was a system where sex, marriage, and power were never, ever separate. So here's my question for you. Of everything you just heard, what surprised you most? The child brides, the double standard, or the fact that Roman women could divorce their husbands with a single sentence? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every one. Why? Because Roman sexual morality wasn't really about who you had sex with. It was about your role in the act. A freeborn Roman man could do almost anything he wanted, as long as he was the one in control, the penetrating partner. That was the entire moral framework. Status and dominance, not gender or orientation the way we categorize it today. So the truth is this: Rome wasn't sexually free. It was sexually stratified. Your access to pleasure, safety, and choice depended entirely on your rank, your gender, and whether you were free or enslaved. And here's the insight that changes everything. We tend to imagine ancient sexual freedom as some kind of progressive fantasy, everybody doing whatever they wanted, no shame, no rules. Rome shows us the opposite lesson. A society can look sexually open on the surface, public brothels, erotic art on dining room walls, casual divorce, and still be built on total control. The freedom in Rome always flowed one direction, toward the freeborn male citizen. Everyone else, wives, daughters, slaves, prostitutes, lived inside a system engineered around his desires, his lineage, his reputation.